Hi, everyone, and welcome to Book Club with Bay. I am Bay, and this is Bay. Say hi, Bay.
Hi, Bay.
And today we are talking about Prey by Rochelle Vincent because there are no Rachels in the world, only Rochelles.
Yes.
It's the fourth book in the Shifter series, 4 of 6.
Yes. And before we get into it, I feel like people need to know their place.
Yeah, people, can you please make that?
Mute?
Can you mute that?
Mute?
This is high art over here.
Oh, please. Art line left and right.
You're being very loud. Okay. I don't have more headphones.
Yeah, I feel like the sad moment in this book didn't get probably from your end the justice it deserved, because Ethan wasn't in the last book much.
Yeah.
And he was, so if we had read them more, like, you know, if the first two hadn't have been read like over a year ago.
Right. Like, because I didn't
even know your reaction. I don't even know your reaction, but I know that you probably weren't as sad as I am.
No, I wasn't. I was, because I knew what it was, but I was like, yeah, okay. I was like, all right. But
I cried.
I didn't.
I did.
I didn't.
It's sad.
It is sad. It just didn't. I think it might have, like you said, had we not read them over a year ago, but we did.
Because any emotional attachment you would have had to Ethan is like long since passed because you barely remember him.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, oh, no.
Feels bad, bro.
I was more, so I was more in the camp of like annoyed with the pining. And then I was like, all right, sad thing. I was stuck on like Faith Mark bullshit, and then it was like, oh, right.
I know I will say the wrong person died. I think you can admit that the wrong person died.
Oh yeah, it should have been either the main character or main love interest should have died. Wasn't either one of those people.
Honestly, no, I don't want Faith to die. I just want Mark to die so Faith can live forever alone.
Oh yeah, ratings.
Ratings. This was better than the last one, I think.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, ratings are hard for this one because I don't like hate these books, but I don't
like Faith.
I don't like Faith. So it's like they're not bad enough to be bad because they're not bad. It's just I don't like the main character or the main guy at all. And I want them to go.
Sorry, that was a bug.
Sit in Alcatraz. So I don't know how to describe that in food.
Turkey, I would say it's a turkey and Swiss sandwich with dry turkey.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? It's like when you really want a pizza and then it just never gets there. And then everybody who's trying to make the pizza is an idiot and it never happens. And your dad has to call somebody and yell at people. And then and what? I know it's weirdly specific. And then he calls you while you're all sitting there at the table waiting for something to happen. And then he's like, there's nobody in this place with an IQ above in the triple digits. And you're like, oh no, Dad, are you okay? Nothing like this has happened recently. But it's a lot like that. It's a lot like waiting for like 3.5 hours to get a cheese pizza. A cheese pizza. More specific.
So not even a fancy one, just a plain old margarita.
Yeah. Yeah, no, nothing complicated. Just cheese. That's what it's like. Yeah,
I
you're
feel
like,
like my rating feels very underwhelming now. It's a dry turkey and Swiss sandwich.
Look. Tonight, getting food was a fucking ordeal. It was a lot, okay? Yeah, so that
Yeah.
I know it was detailed, okay, but my poor father was traumatized tonight.
Poor daddy.
To the amusement of the rest of us, but he did not have fun. So there's that. Are there any characters we need to go over? I guess we should talk about Ethan.
Yes, we should talk about big. Oh, can you just quickly talk about Ethan? I just need to go put a pillow under my mother's leg.
Yeah.
I'll be a minute.
Ethan is Faith's brother from, like, he was in the first and second book. It's her younger brother, I believe. And I don't remember a lot of details about him. They left me alone at the wrong time. South America. Because fuck, I don't remember a lot about Ethan. I'm sorry. This is bad news for me.
I'm back. It's okay. I know you were struggling. I'm sorry. I was trying to be as quick as I could. Okay, so Ethan, he is the youngest of Faith's four brothers.
Thank you.
He is the one that is most likely to make her cry, but also the one most likely to comfort her after she cries. He is Jace's, aka the other love interest, best friend. They have been best buddies their whole lives, and he is the reason why Jace is even in Faith's pride, because they're like, you can have our home now that your dad is dead. Because Calvin Malone is.
Was that recapped in this book?
I think so. Like when he's all sad and everything, he's like, Ethan's the only reason why I'm here.
Oh, okay. Because I think like I heard that, but I didn't like know why.
Yeah, I don't actually. There's a lot more about Jace's backstory in the next book, so we won't go too much into that one, that bit. But he's like fun loving. He's like, him and Jace are quote unquote the Wonder Twins.
Right.
I think it was in the second book.
Mm-hmm.
Jace and Ethan started to date a pair of twins and then Jace broke up with one of the twins, and Ethan is still with the other twin this book. But they picked up girls a lot. They were best buddies. Him and Faith were pretty close. He was kind of like the quintessential youngest boy in the family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he got up to a lot of mischief, and he also got away with a lot of mischief because he was like the baby.
Yeah.
Except Faith is the baby, but she's a brat. So like, we like Ethan more.
Yeah.
I think everyone in the family likes Ethan more than Faith.
Faith is just, I mean, I'm not going to say she's one of, okay, I'll say this, because This House of Night even count as a book? I don't know. As far as quote unquote good books go, like what you could call a well-written book, because I'm not going to put like the Covenant series in this or anything like that. Because there's a reason why, even though we're criticizing these books heavily, it's still in Good Book Week.
Yes.
So as far as like good books go, Faith is one of the most unlikable probably the most unlikable protagonist.
Honestly, the way that this book is written, okay, obviously with I'm talking like in terms of like the plots and not the plots themselves, but how they're written and everything.
Mm-hmm.
with less supernatural beings in the stories and stuff like that, this series to me is a little bit how Mercy Thompson could be if we hated Mercy.
Yes. Yeah.
So they're well written. It's just the main, and the plots are good. They make sense. They interweave. It's plot heavy, but Faith is just so unlikable.
Yeah, Faith is just so she's just so horrible. She's just a piece of shit. And I hate her. She's bad, okay?
She's not a good person. She's not a good friend. She's not a good girlfriend. She's not a good, let's raise this person to be alpha of the pride material.
Yeah, she doesn't have like a single redeeming quality.
She's okay with Casey.
Okay, fine. She's okay with Casey. But like the problem is that she doesn't have any kind of character development.
No, I don't like. I mean, I understand why Mark is obsessed with her. I don't understand why Jace is.
Because we've talked about this before, but it would be fine to start out a character this way. You know, it's just
as long as she fucking grows.
You know what? Actually, let me amend that because she's in her mid-20s, right?
She started off, I think, 20. Ethan was 24 or 25, so she's 23-ish.
You know what? It would have been fine if she was like 19, 18 or 19.
Yeah, so if she was like a freshman instead of in a first year of grad school when the series started.
Right. If she was like 18 or 19 when the series started and she was like this, and then she like, changed. But because she's like an adult and like this is just her personality, because like by that age when you're like starting your first year of grad school, like that is probably just your personality and you're just like this now. Like these are your settings, probably can't be changed.
Yeah, the only growth that Faith has had, I don't know if you remember this, was like when she started the series, she was like, I'm never gonna be an active werecat again. And then by the end of the first book, she's like, I want to be an active werecat again. That has been her character development.
Which is ugh.
And that was books ago. That was book one.
So if like she had started out this way much younger, when it's actually possible to change somebody's personality. But like now, yeah, like this is just how you are. And so it's like, ugh.
See, and that I think that's also partly why like there's always hope when you have an insufferable protagonist in a YA.
Yeah.
Because they're 16.
Right.
So there's hope.
Yeah. Well, that's why like you can start out with an insufferable character. It's just do something
It'll
about
let him
it.
grow.
Yeah.
But
like,
Faith thinks she grows.
She doesn't. Nothing about her changes. And Mark is so, oh my God.
I can't stand Mark.
I can't stand him either.
You are going to loathe Mark in the next book and the last book. Because I read this book on Monday and then I was like, fuck it, I'll read the next one too. And then I started the last one and I was like, maybe I should wait. Because I don't want to reread this book in 2 weeks.
Right.
So I'm like, I should wait. But Mark is just in. Next book, he's in. And then the beginning of the last book, I remember what happens. I'm not up to this bit yet, but I remember that it happens. And I'm just like, And I fucking can't stand him. I can't stand him. He's a bad person. That's right. Because also, I don't know if you remember this. Because I had forgotten that this happened, but it gets brought up in the next book. In book 1, after Faith gets kidnapped, he breaks like half of Jace's bones in his body because he left the keys where Faith could reach them.
In book
He's that
1?
kind of person. Yes, you know how Faith gets kidnapped in book 1?
Right.
Her and Jace. Yeah. Her and Jace had the bet, and she was like, you just need to leave your keys on the counter, and he did. And so Mark broke most of the bones in his body.
Yeah, as if it was Jace's fault. That's right.
Yeah, so, like, Jace is protective. Mark is, like, stage 8 fucking DV possessive.
Well, yeah, because like if you
Like,
would break,
if Mark was human, he would be in jail.
yeah, no, he would be in prison for life at this point because he breaks things, he breaks people for like, and also for like no reason, you know, because it's one thing like to beat
Mark's
somebody
having a
up.
bad day, so he breaks everything.
Well, yeah, because it's one thing to like beat somebody up if they rape your girlfriend, okay? If they do a rape-a-doodle and you beat somebody up, you know, fair, right? But what happened in the first book, God, I forgot that happened. Oh my God, it's like Jace leaves some keys on a counter, Faith gets kidnapped, and then he like
Because
beats.
Faith took the car, drove it to the barn, and was on her way back to the house.
And so, like, it's genuinely not Jace's fault that she got kidnapped in any way, shape, or form. It's not his fault.
She could have walked to the barn if he didn't leave his keys out. She could have walked.
And also, it could have happened on any day at any time.
They were out together. They were gonna get her.
Yeah. So it's not his fault, but because that it happened in that specific way, Mark broke a bunch of bones in Jace's body.
He couldn't shift for like almost 2 months because of all the broken bones. Because you can't shift with broken bones, or you're supposed to wait till they're mostly healed.
And so, which like,
yeah, he threw him through a wall.
Which is fucking insane.
In Faith's parents' house, he threw them through one of Faith's parents' walls, and they're like, this
and her parents were still like, yeah, y'all should fuck. And it's like, why? And also the other thing that like, which is so weird for a book that's like written so well. For a book that's written as well as it is, as far as like plots go, is that Rochelle over here expects us to be like, you know what, Mark, I think he's hot. It's like, why? Why would you expect? Like that's some romance novel level bullshit. You know what I mean?
If my daughter brought home the human equivalent of Mark,
can you fucking imagine?
I feel like you know how there's all those jokes about like, dad bringing out his shotgun and stuff. I feel like Stixie would go and get his gun license if he doesn't have it by then, so he could buy a rifle, so he could bring it out.
Yeah, can you just imagine bringing that home like to your dad and being like, "Hey, Dad, what's up?"
Every time I look at another guy, he breaks things.
Yeah, yeah, it's like, can you imagine bringing that home to your dad and being like, "Hey, this is my new boyfriend. His name is Mark," and then it's like you happen to bring him home on the wrong day, and he's like really cranky. Can you okay? Oh, okay, you were reading. I was like, what are you doing? Sorry. And then what? Trying to be involved, you can be involved. You're like, this is Mark, and then it's like a bad day. Mark just doesn't like Tuesdays, and so Mark is like, hello, and then he just punches a hole in the wall, and then your parents are like, you guys should get married.
That's lit. I mean, okay, sorry. We'll make it a little bit more like in line with the actual circumstance. Okay.
I'm sorry. You guys have a screaming fight where Mark almost murdered you.
Wait. You have an 8-year-old daughter, and then you bring in a 13-year-old foster kid, or whatever he is. You bring in a 13-year-old foster kid. He has, temper tantrums, and you're like, look, I get it, okay? You've just been violently orphaned. I will forgive it to an extent. And then when he's in his mid-20s, he starts dating your 16-year-old daughter, or early 20s. He starts dating your 16-year-old daughter. Every time they fight, he destroys your house. And then you say, you two should get married.
I love that you made it so much worse that way. So you have a predatory 25-year-old who ruins your house, living with your, living with your 16-year-old daughter who ruins your house all the time, and they're constantly fighting, and your contractor loves you, and you think that they should fuck forever.
And also, it's not just any old house. Like, you didn't just be like, oh, I need to buy a house. I'll buy this 50-year-old house. No, it's the house that you as an architect father designed and built.
Yep.
It is your love letter to your wife. And it gets holes in the wall repeatedly.
And not only does he break the house, he breaks people.
And not only are they like, you two should get married, they get mad at Faith every time Mark loses his temper because she made him mad. It's so toxic.
What?
Like after he throws Jace through the wall, no one is mad at Mark. Everybody is mad at Faith. It is the only time I'm Team Faith.
Yeah, I know, right? Because nobody should be mad at you because your boyfriend broke the house.
I mean, they should be mad at you for being with him. And that's it. Is people doing weird stuff?
No, people's trying to figure out how to fix my mess.
Oh. Is people having success?
No.
Mark is the bad guy in a Lifetime movie. Mark is the bad guy in literally any situation except this series. Like, Mark is a toxic individual. If my daughter brought home a guy that is like a quarter as bad as Mark, she would be grounded until she dumped him.
Yeah, and he would be banned from the house because no.
Like, in any case,
do we have any other characters we need to talk about?
We should talk about Kevin.
Okay.
Because he was in book 2 where we meet Manx.
Mm-hmm.
He was a member of the South Central Pride, which is Faith's Pride, and he got disbarred from Pride when they found out he was accepting bribes to sneak strays out of the free zone into Pride territory to go to a strip club.
Yeah.
And one of those strays ended up dead, which is how they found out about it. So
yeah.
Daddy wouldn't take him back because, like, he had to save face because he was from another Pride originally. And he comes back in this book. And also in that book, we also met Dan Painter. Also, did you notice that Dr. Carver and Dan Painter have the same first name?
I did.
Yes, Dr. Carver is Danny Carver, and then we have Dan Painter. So there's an extra NY on Dr. Carver's name.
You know, I think that's interesting because in a lot of books, people avoid that. But it's so, it's such a thing in real life.
Forgot. I know, but I feel like that she forgot.
But it is such a thing in real life,
Yeah.
I mean, in school, you have 50 Christophers.
Yeah, and I feel like this book, she referred to Dr. Carver more as Dr. Carver than Danny Carver.
Yeah.
Purely because Dan was in this book.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like it because you never see you very rarely see a book that has two people with the same or similar names in it, and when they do, it's usually on purpose. I can't remember the name of the book. It could be the name Ashley. I'm not sure, but it's the Ashleys where there's 2 or 3 of them, and it's a gang of Ashleys. But it's that's the point.
Yeah.
But it never just happens oh, there just happens to be. But this book there is. So.
Which is honestly very realistic.
Yes. So we also, see Dan Pater again. He was a stray who was helping Manx, or to whatever extent that he could, to try and maybe help her not to, kill people, but also to kill the person who kidnapped her and raped her and killed her baby and then knocked her up again, all that stuff. All of Manx's trauma, he's that guy. And so at the end of that book, he was told that if he does like 1 year good behavior type thing, then Daddy will consider letting him join the Pride.
Yes.
And
just a reminder, we have to refer to him as Daddy.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
I don't know if it's in this book or next book, but Faith actually calls him Dad once instead of Daddy. And I was like, oh.
I wonder if, I guess because, towards the end of these books, it started to get weird on the internet, maybe. And so they were like, you got to knock it off. You got to stop that. You can't call your father Daddy anymore. Because it's so weird. Because, I know but it's just really weird to read it. Because even, in her head, just in her monologue, she's like, well, Daddy was saying this. And you're like, stop it. Stop.
It's one thing to verbally call your dad Daddy, and again, depending on circumstance, but it's one thing to do it verbally. Internally,
yeah. She's just like, well, Daddy was saying this, this, and this, and you're like, ah.
Yeah, I used to call my dad Daddy all the time, but it was usually like, hi, Daddy, and I intentionally did a higher pitched voice or whatever, or I was like, Daddy, can I have a pony?
Yeah, you're like, Daddy, can I have a pony? And he's like, it's always something like that. It's always when you want something, and then they're like, no, that's your I want something voice. And you're like, damn it. I've been found out.
How do they always know?
They're like, no, you're not 4 anymore. You're nowhere near as adorable as you used to be. And you're like, fuck.
That's true.
You're not 2 feet tall and cute anymore.
I know, and I don't have my... Sorry, I'm still bitter that the doctor that did my nose when I was 2 did it wrong. I'm still bitter. Especially now that I have a mini-me walking around with what my nose should be. I was supposed to have a ski slope. I broke my nose. I had to rebuild it, and they did it dead straight. I'm still bitter. I'm actually getting more and more bitter as I get older.
I know.
It's getting worse. I need a nose job to give me back my genetic nose. Yes, I need plastic surgery to give me back my natural nose. Okay. I'm sad. Okay, back to the story though.
Yeah, back to the story. Got us 30 minutes in. We haven't gotten to the plot yet.
Yes. So this is set about 9 weeks after the last book, because Faith hasn't seen Mark in 9 weeks. Manx has had the baby, because Manx wasn't really in the last book, so we should give a briefing on Manx too. Manx, the group of werecats that kidnapped Faith in the first book and everything, they were also doing the same thing in South America. They kidnapped Manx, raped her a bunch of times. Like the bad guy in the second book was also part of that. Raped her a bunch of times, knocked her up. She had a boy. They killed the boy and did it again. And now she's pregnant again. They cut off her tail, which is why she's called Manx. And yeah, so she's been pregnant in the second and third book. She's now had baby. And now she gets, and so they're on their way to her trial for murder because she killed a pride cat. And because she is an illegal immigrant, because, she snuck over the border as a cat, they can't fly there, so they have to drive.
Yeah.
So they're in Texas, and they're driving to Atlanta.
Yeah.
They're driving to you, babe.
They're driving to us, unfortunately.
I will say, though, the southern accents in these books aren't too bad.
Yeah, they're not as horrible as they could have been.
I don't like Jennifer Van Dyke's voice as like a 22, 23-year-old woman, but I
Neither
do
do I.
like her voice range though, like the range of voices she can do.
Yeah.
Although I think you're going to be annoyed with one of her voices next book as well.
Yeah, like
It's not because of a southern accent. It's not because of a southern accent. It's
her voice
something-
isn't like horrible.
It just sounds like a grandmother. Like a youngish grandmother, but still, like she sounds like a 45-year-old woman. Should I just play her voice so we can just
Yeah.
give me a minute? I also hate the way she says Mark. She says it as like 2 syllables.
Had been trodden firmly on the oriental rug and leaned on it with both hands. Now, Greg, calm down.
Oh, okay.
I'm only asking you.
We don't
And
want.
a tie wasn't good enough. We needed a clear victory.
I think
My
that.
father sat in his wing chair at the end of the
And
room.
clear of the tree.
Yeah, I think.
Her
I
like
think
pronunciation of words as well. It sounds like, you know, it makes her sound older.
Yeah, it's really annoying as well because she does the narration for this middle trilogy of the Chronicles of Ixia because that's got a different protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
And she says all of the words that already have an established pronunciation that are correct. I've looked them up. She says them differently in that one, and then size, like the weapon Asai, like SAI.
Mm-hmm.
She calls them says.
No, they're not says.
But then I think in the third book, she says it. She says like she starts to say size, but all of the other pronunciations are still wrong, and it just drove me crazy. But yeah, that is that she is supposed to be a 22, 23-year-old woman, and she doesn't sound like it.
No.
She should sound like you.
I mean, the narrator I chose for the Rosalie Watson trilogy doesn't sound super young. But
I think the most awkward parts for Jennifer Van Dyke doing it is during the sex scenes.
But she also doesn't sound like grating like that. Like with the Strange Angels narrator and like her, they have like that grandmotherly tone to their voices.
Yes.
Like like Michelle Moss, the one that I chose, has more of like that Lorelei King sort of tone.
Yeah.
Where it's just like a little deeper. So that like the male voices sound better rather than like you just sound like a grandmother who still can't do male voices nicely. So like you just sound like a grandma.
I honestly, like, as well, like with how many males you have in your books as well, like you made a good choice because like the last thing you want as well is like, Alex, you're so awesome. I love you.
Yeah, I know. And stop it. And because like in this one, her voice is deep enough that like she should be able to do male voices like correctly. But instead of like her being able to do them correctly, it's just like really nasally and deep. And so I don't know how to like describe how she does male voices. But it no, it's not like that. But it's just like weird and bad.
In my heart, I'm asking you not to start a war.
Shut up.
Blackwell stood calm.
Honestly, it just occurred to me because I haven't actually listened to this on normal speed. She doesn't make her voice any deeper to do Blackwell, who's like the old dude. Like,
in my heart.
Shush.
I'm asking you not to start a war. Blackwell stood calm.
That wasn't. She didn't make her voice any deeper for that. She just gave him an accent.
So in any case, she can't do male voice as well, which is weird given her vocal tone. Like, you know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know what you said. Okay. I'm sure it was. So,
Yeah. So, plot 30, almost 36 minutes in.
yes, plot. Anyway, continue.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So, they're driving.
So we're
to the
9
crowd.
weeks in. She's been missing work for 9 weeks.
Oh, actually, also, I think just because it's shift does. I think we should just bring the map up as well, just because it will make it. Give me a second. No. Open image and new tab. There we go. I'm gonna do a share screen.
Okay.
Share. Okay.
There you go.
So they're in the big blue right now. Okay, they're in the big blue. Like I think pretty close to the west of the big blue because
Yeah.
like they live in Texas. And I don't think all of that's Texas. I don't know.
It's not all Texas.
Yeah.
There's
I
a lot
didn't
of
think-
Louisiana and
Yeah.
like Oklahoma in there as well.
Yeah. So they need to get from the blue to the green, which is the Southeast Pride. So they have to go through the free zone, which like pops up like a little penis between them. Am I wrong?
No, you're not. Wait, what's that like? Not a free zone, but not a
I
pride
don't
zone?
know.
How
I
is that
don't
not a
know.
free zone then?
I don't know. Maybe that belongs to like the South. I don't. For some reason, maybe that belongs to the South American or Central American prides. I don't understand why the U.S. Pride Council thing wouldn't have all of the U.S. in it. I don't get it.
Because the Midwest
But
Pride doesn't have. First of all, the Midwest Pride is not all in the Midwest either, which is very weird. Not the point. But it doesn't extend all the way up to Canada.
I know. But okay, and also in the last book as well, we were
How
up in
come
the
the
top
Northwest
free
Pride
zone.
goes up through Canada? What's that about?
I don't know. Okay, I didn't draw the map. I found it online.
I know you didn't draw the map. I'm not asking you. I'm asking her. And how? Like this is a weird map. What?
I mean, it's helpful to an extent because it's also like
I don't know why New England goes up into Quebec. I didn't draw the map. Bay just found it. Some retard did. Is that what you just said?
It's from her website. It's not.
I know it's from her website.
It's from her website.
She just doesn't know where the U.S. is.
But I feel like she should because like they've like fuzzied out the non-US on the map.
Well, did they bully Canada, but then get like bullied by Mexico? Is that what happened?
I don't know.
Also,
Because the Southwest Pride also goes down into Mexico.
yeah, it does. Also, I
And
just
like there's that little sad bit of land just not connected to like because I don't think that connects back into the continent at the bottom, does it?
right. Yeah. Well, and the question I have too is like the question I have about the free zones. Okay, is like, is there a reason why? Also, does the Appalachian Pride like not go into the Southeast Pride?
No.
So is that just like
no,
blank?
no, I think that's just a. No,
like,
no,
little-
that's part of the East Coast Pride.
Okay. So the East Coast Pride just has like a little penis that goes.
Yeah, there's lots of penises on this map.
Okay. Because
Does that seem to you?
but my question about the free zones is this: does the council like have free zones set up specifically, or like can they just not or is like nobody cat enough to to control the free zones.
I think they're set up specifically so they have somewhere to dump the strays. And
Okay.
my question is, okay, so from the sounds of it, each pride has, like, considering as well the fact that the South Central Pride is the only pride that has a stray in it, or well, up until the end of the last book, had a stray in it. So the rest would only have, at most, maybe about 30 to 50 people, at most. At most. Like, I think that's over. I don't think she thought too much about the genetics of this, right? Because also, like, anyway, at most they have between 30 to 50 people. But there's a shit ton of strays. There's a lot of strays. I imagine each free zone would have more strays in it than the pride cats combined.
Yeah.
Do each pride really need this much freaking space?
Well, this is the thing too. Like, if you think about like how big the prides are, how do they even control that much space?
How do they patrol the borders?
They can't.
They can't.
There's no way that they actually there's no way that that's actually like the free zone and that the strays stay in the free zones. There's no freaking way.
And there's no way that they'd be able to tell if stray cats came into the territories.
Yeah, there's no way.
Because also, like, Faith's family, for example, they have, so their enforcers are Faith. We'll include Mark. They've got Faith, Mark, Ethan, Jace, Vic, and Parker.
That's it?
They've
For
got
that whole
6
area? They have 6
for that
people
whole area. They have
patrolling
6
that?
for that whole area.
You would never know it. You can live in Texas if you wanna. They're never gonna fucking find you. Because you know what? All they patrol is their damn house.
Yeah, and because also, like, let's be honest, if you're a cat, you want to have a lot of land, right? Because you want to be able to turn into a cat without your neighbors seeing you. And you want to be able to go hunt. So you're going to want to live in the middle of fucking nowhere. So if you're a stray, you just literally go, that looks like a nice bit of acreage. I'm going to live there. And no one will ever know.
Like,
unless it's next.
You wouldn't have to be in the free zones. This is a massive plot hole.
Well, the other massive plot hole is where cats originated in South America, and yet we have a redheaded, green-eyed cousin.
Yeah, that's true too.
But they don't, up until now, they didn't realize that, strays could be, like, strays are the result of, werecat union, like human unions, and they don't let strays into the pride, because it was a big deal that Mark was allowed into the pride. So how the hell did they become Caucasian?
Right.
They should all be Hispanic.
They should.
They should all be Hispanic, but they're not.
They should all be South American.
Yes, they should all be like...
They should all look like native South Americans.
Yeah, because Manx is from Venezuela. Like, the strays could be whatever fucking race they want to be because they were Scratch. It's fine. But the pride cats should all be, native South American.
What race is Faith?
She's white.
Why is she white?
I don't know. Why is her cousin Abby a redhead with green eyes?
That doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
Because if they all have to be South American, native South American, then they should all be native South American.
Yep. I think a few generations back, all the tabbies became quite floozy-ish with some human guys and shacked up with some strays and all of that stuff and diluted the bloodlines, and then they erased it from their